Okay.
Oh, it says you're offline.
Yeah, I just started it. It should be up now
Okay.
or coming up. Says I'm streaming.
It looks like it.
Oh, there it goes. All right. It didn't update for some reason on my screen. Yeah, David said he's supposed to be coming on. He said he had to go to Marksville or something. So whatever.
I gotta tell you that whole ladder thing you just crawled down doesn't exactly look OSHA approved.
It's probably not. Where are we going? We are going to see if I was smart. I would have grabbed the money out of the base so I could go to the trader. Got a little stutter right here.
So I'm just curious. Say that big building that you're go all the way to the top of
Yeah. Yeah, you could climb all the way to the top of it, jump off of it if you wanted. But what's funny is that well, not funny, but everything is destructible. So, say the zombies would like do a lot of damage to the bottom of our base, the building we're in. The whole thing could fall down. So as soon as as soon as we have the resources for it, takes a lot of concrete, but I'm gonna build a wall all the way around, and pretty much make a funnel that goes up those stairs into my kill room. Wow, a level 5 stone axe, just what we needed today. Is this coal? That would be convenient. Nope.
Nothing like taking an axe to some flowers.
Well, I tried to kill that rabbit, but it didn't work.
You just couldn't make the cut.
Yeah. Ha 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 ha. You're so punny.
So punny. Dreaming hate flowers.
Yeah, I need it. You gotta use the flowers to make paint, so.
Ain't everything red.
Well, we like our. Well, you get to pick whatever color you want. Sorry, sir. Denied. I don't remember. pistol away? I must have. This must be it here. Yep, that is definitely it. Alright.
Did you make that hole?
Yeah, I have a... So like a little metal mine.
It's too bad you don't have a chainsaw like on Ark. You'd have gotten a whole lot more wood.
Well, you could get a chainsaw, but see on here you have to find... Why? You have to find all of the blueprints. And the auger and the chainsaw have eluded us so far. So
The Augur of Dunlane. For those Skyrim people.
and then for those youngins that are like, what is this Skyrim you speak of?
All this talk of dragons makes me nervous.
Yeah. Alright. Oh,
Looks like he's lost his head over you. Ha ha ha.
God. Yeah, I need to max out my intellect and then my advanced engineering so I could build the helicopter.
I was gonna make a joke. If you need to advance out, max out your intelligence, why are you exercising in futility?
Because I need the XPs.
The helicopter?
Yes, more. Have you ever played Rust?
For about 5 minutes.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. It didn't work well.
It's pretty much the same model as a little. It's like a little gyrocopter, little one-seater, three-wheeled thing.
Do you have vertical takeoff and landing, or is it more like a real gyrocopter and you have to have momentum?
No, you actually have to like kind of get a rolling start and then take off.
Okay, so yeah, it's a gyrocopter.
Yeah, it's not like a regular helicopter. I'm gonna take this nitrate too over here. play out the way. We're getting...
Welcome to the lifestyles of the rich and famous. His name is Mikey. He's digging a hole.
Pretty much.
All you're doing is sending an urge for me to pull out the old hand drill.
Oh.
Put the visor down and
Get to
start
work.
destructive throwing. Yeah.
I mean, it's essentially the same thing. It's just in a... not in space, so...
I don't think, well, you know how when they added wheels, well, before they even added wheels, people were trying to build wheeled contraptions.
Yeah.
And then they added wheels and suspensions and whatnot, but point aside, the rovers are an integral part of it now, as much as any ship is. And I think one of the last things I built were two different rovers. One was a large base rover, which I lost the blueprint for. I have a very old version of it, but it's not the same. And then another one is a really cheap, but the big block.
Yeah.
You know, they have small ship and big ship.
Yeah.
This is a big ship, but is a really relatively cheap, considering it's mostly made of almost nothing, rover, but it's a driller, and the drill arm actuates up and down. You can lock yourself into position where you want it, and it has 5 large drill heads that rotate.
Jesus.
It makes about, I think it can go not quite 100 meters. It's extended. It's something that you would really like at some point.
Yeah. I wish you could build like your own vehicles and stuff. That would be pretty cool. Or if you had the, I don't know, yeah, like craft your own car, that would be cool.
In here?
Yeah, like in 7 Days to Die.
Oh,
Like you had to scavenge car parts like doors and hoods and like make a Mad Max looking vehicle.
I was gonna suggest welcome to a Mad Max RPG.
See, right now, this is all you have is, so this is the truck. And you have to have all of these parts to craft it. So all you have to do is craft this, and then you can pretty much build it, so.
It's a nice looking truck.
I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty much the same model in all the mods and everything. Hopefully we can start upgrading the base soon. Need a lot of metal.
Unfortunately, the metal tried to stop them,
Huh.
but they couldn't be stopped.
Yeah. I think after this, once we get tired of regular 7 Days to Die, we'll probably play Darkness Falls again. And that's when it's going to get really interesting.
No knowledge of the other one either.
What's that?
I don't know what the other one is either.
It's just like a complete overhaul mod for the base game. If you go on my YouTube, we have a bunch of we have a whole series me and David played through. It's a lot different than this. Some of them are way harder. Like Undead Legacy has a workbench for everything, so you can't craft everything all at once. Like once you get the materials, and even if you have to find the blueprint for it, you can't craft it until you unlock that workbench.
A bit more survival focused.
Yeah, like food and water is really scarce. Yeah, between like farming materials and crafting, like building is by far the best way to level.
Hand-to-hand combat is a much secondary way of leveling up.
Well, they do have like different styles of brass knuckles. They have like leather hand wraps with spikes on them. So don't sell it short. There's a lot more metal than I thought would be down here.
What kind of weight limit do you have?
There's no real like weight limit. So if I would fill up every slot in my bag, I would be overweight. Is how it works, pretty much. So there's no like direct weight ratio right now. Not in this mod anyway. Not in this version. Like in Darkness Falls there is, and I think Undead Legacy and all that stuff, and all the other mods there's. Which I'm sure it's gonna come to this game, to the base game, because they're slowly integrating parts of the mods into the game.
Sounds like space engineers.
Huh?
Sounds exactly like space engineers.
I mean, it's smart though. Like, if you see that your people are doing it, why not go ahead and add it so you don't have to have an extra process running? Yeah. I mean, Ark does the same thing with their maps. I mean, they hold a contest, and whoever's content's better wins.
Ark is something I hadn't looked at in a long time. I enjoyed it. I just hadn't had a chance to play it.
My other computer, I can install it. I could install it and go to load into a server, and it would not let me load in. So, I think I was having a RAM issue. Like, I didn't have enough RAM for whatever the hell was going on. Either.
Yeah, that one is that's a very RAM intensive game. I can verify that much. And if you really have to play with it and struggle with it for it to load everything, if you have a limited amount of memory.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna upgrade what I have now. I want at least probably 64 gigs, and I'll probably be alright. But
I'll just keep coding myself and saying that if I really wanted to, I could install my same system on the Dell 3000 and it would run just as well.
that's crazy.
Now, granted, if you try to open up a bunch of browser tabs or you try to watch a 1080p video or something like that, yeah, you're
Probably
kind
gotta
of
have
pushing
some.
it.
Yeah, you gotta start
Yeah,
struggling.
but the operating system itself will be fine. In fact, I have an old Raspberry Pi that I had tried using as it just for Netflix. That was it. And it kept overheating and shutting down, and it overheated enough to where it burnt the wireless card.
God damn.
Yeah, so the Wi-Fi doesn't work on it anymore. But just to say, even that is kind of comparable to the old Dell that I mentioned. The operating system runs fine, but when you constantly putting it under that kind of strain, well, let me not say it's the same because there is a big difference between being able to cool yourself
Yeah.
actively and then just sitting there. So, yeah,
And I think that's what got my computer overall is just years and years of stress on it. And then I was trying to mine Bitcoin at one point with it, and so I'm sure that really didn't help my situation out any.
probably not. I think your stream froze.
Did it? No. No, it's still going. I mean, it's moving. Hang on.
Never mind, it's not you.
Okay. I don't have my like little stream preview on Twitch up.
All right, there we go. Caught back up.
Yeah. I wish we could get some better internet, but alas, I don't think it's gonna happen. Stuck with the sudden link.
It's running pretty good. It was a problem on my end, not yours.
Well, see, I can't stream in 1080p because of my internet. I can only stream in 720. Hashtag first world problems.
Like, yeah. And here I was instead just being happy that I managed to find a PDF of the latest Learning VI and BIM book.
What you're trying to learn BIM?
Well, there's a lot of things I'm trying to learn, but it's one of those things where it's easy to learn the basics, but there's a lot of functionality built into it and a lot of power. And it takes some practice and it takes time. And figure somebody knows a lot more than I do and they wrote a book for it. If I can get the book, I probably should read the book.
Yeah. Because that's what it's pretty much what my fiance does. They use Autodesk Inventor.
Well, unfortunately for your Autodesk, I will say that will be a turnoff if you're trying to move away from Windows. That is not one of the things that does too well anywhere but Windows.
Really?
They only really make it for Windows because Windows has the most market share.
Yeah. So that's what I've been learning is AutoCAD for that way I can start learning how to do substation design.
Well, if you ever find yourself with the facilities to manufacture metal or polymer, I have a lot of knowledge stored up that we can use to make something fun. You know, you've been mining here for a while. Has this been around?
I don't know. Honestly, it started out with just like a little patch on the top, and I just started following it down, and it's still going. Like the black rock with the rust color is all metal, so. And this is nitrate, which we need for gunpowder, but we don't have coal. And you can't craft coal on the vanilla version, apparently.
That's something I would like to try and do one day is try to make it, well, I mean, today we call it homemade gunpowder or homemade black powder.
Yeah.
But black powder is black powder. How do you think they won the Civil War? they, they made it in swamps, in their basements, and gunpowder was gunpowder.
Yeah, but you see now it's different. Like there's different kinds of gunpowder, and I don't know. It's changed a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of science behind it. The this kind of gunpowder would be what you would consider to be the traditional
Yeah, like
black powder.
like a musket powder.
Yeah, it produces a lot of heat.
A lot more smoke.
Well, it does that because it burns more slowly over time and distance, which is why you have a lot of leftover and there's a big puff of smoke at the end. And one of the reasons they tell you not to use modern gunpowder in black powder firearms is because you're right, they're two different powders. The modern gunpowder is a very quick burning powder. It rapidly ignites, rapidly burns, and basically discharges itself much more quickly and more cleanly, which is why we typically refer to it as smokeless powder.
Yeah.
So that's why if you put that in a black powder weapon, especially an original one of any age, it might survive a little bit, but otherwise you're putting so much pressure on the breech that it's going to explode. You know, maybe not immediately, but you start putting more than one or two shots in it, and yeah, it will. But here's my question. I guess it'd be something you have to figure out first, is you have to have coal to make you have to have charcoal to make black powder.
Yeah.
But I guess my question is, how do you get charcoal rather than just wood ash?
So there's actually videos of like it was on Dirty Jobs, this place that makes not briquettes but like um, charcoal. It's not like the little square bricks. It's like burnt charred pieces of wood. What they
Yeah.
do is there's literally just big piles of smoldering wood. Like they set it on fire and then they douse it with water and let it smolder. And then it turns to charcoal and not dust.
Well, let's take a trip down wikihow.com. How to make charcoal. Method number 1, lighting a bonfire. Locate an area where you can build an outdoor fire. Number 2, get a metal drum. You'll put the wood into this container. Choose a drum as large or small as you like, depending on how much charcoal you want to make. Make sure it has a flame-proof lid. Number 3, pick out wood to make the charcoal. Choose wood that has been cured. Cherry, oak, or hickory all work well. Let's see. Enough to fill up the drum to the top. Chop the wood into 4-inch pieces. Fill up the drum with the cured wood. Pack the wood tightly. Fill it all the way to the top and around. Put the lid on the drum. Prepare to light the bonfire. Step 5. Prepare to light the bonfire. Buy or gather extra wood to make a bonfire that will burn for 3 to 5 hours. Build it up on your chosen site. Leave a hole in the middle for the drum. Put the drum in the hole and cover it with more wood. Burning the bonfire. Keep it going at least 3 hours. More if you're using a larger drum packed with more wood. Let the fire completely burn out and cool down before approaching the drum. Number 7. Remove the lump charcoal. When you open the lid, you'll see a fresh batch of pure lump coal.
There you go, lump coal. That's the word.
Yeah. Lump coal. Use it to grill for the rest of the summer. Or method number 2. Using 2 drums. Oh. Yeah, I just think it would be fun. Because, you know, contrary to the generation after the founding fathers, where they started fuckifying everything again, and even up till the 1900s, early 1900s, you know, you had a lot of self-sufficiency. If you needed to remove a stump, you could burn it out, make your own explosives, blow it up. Nobody cared.
Now you gotta have a permit for everything. You gotta have a permit to get the permit.
Uh, you know, the thing that I always envision is, I can't remember the name of the series. Boy, I can see it perfectly, too. A very volatile explosive, which was rather widely used in the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad, was nitroglycerin.
Yeah.
And I remember this scene from the series where they were really trying to bust through one of the mountain ranges, and they, uh, the foreman, one of the main characters, they rolled up with a few boxcars and they say, "Here's your supplies," and they opened up the boxcar doors, and it was wall to wall and floor to ceiling with crates labeled explosive nitro, and and everybody just froze and turned white.
Just step away slowly.
It's like it was amazing that they managed to move that much nitro and not have any of it explode.
Yeah, it would have been my luck the first time, like the old rickety ass train would have took off. That motherfucker would have blew the fucking sky high.
Oh yeah, well you figure, I think when they were like, comparatively, and they kind of had it pretty well accurate to how they would really do it historically. Um, they would use just some milliliters, basically. Little, uh, those little two, almost oh my god, not beakers, but the little glass tubes,
Yeah, test tube.
vial, a little vial.
Yeah.
They would use maybe a few little vials here or there spaced out among one another to move a few feet of mountain rock at a time. Just these little vials produce that much of an explosion. And it's fascinating to think what would happen if you had a standard boxcar filled that just went off.
Yeah, no shit, man.
I guess that was their version of a nuclear explosion, because everybody knew when it happened.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big things that they're worried about with the whole Russia-Ukraine thing right now. Is that Russia took Chernobyl.
I didn't know that, but my food just arrived. I'm gonna go eat, and I'll be back, and we can continue.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Yep.
I'll just leave this on. get my pizza.
Pizza.
Yep. But yeah, I don't know. I hadn't really paid too much attention to the whole Russia thing.
Yeah, I don't like read a bunch of news, but I have TikTok, and I'll listen. If one of them, if one of the TikToks has something about it, I'll listen to it. I'm not gonna sit down in front of the TV and watch it because a lot of it's bullshit. So, but yeah, they're not worried about like Russia blowing it up. They're worried about like uh, it being an accident from a missile or some kind of artillery.
Collateral damage.
Yeah, because I mean, have you watched the show about um, the huge building that they built around the leaking reactor?
Uh-uh.
Uh, I don't. You don't. Do you have Netflix or no? It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was on Netflix.
Well, tell me about it.
I don't remember what it's called, but they pretty much just designed a huge fucking concrete bunker that they built around it, and the way they did it was it's insane. I might be able to find it on YouTube and send it to you.
So they basically just shielded it. I'm sure it's at least, at least 6 feet thick?
Um, hang on.
It's not made of cinder blocks, is my point.
No, fuck no. Here we go. Yeah, they called it the sarcophagus. It's see.
Shopify offers 24/7 email, live.
How? Let's see. Can you can watch YouTube on your computer?
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
They really cut that thing. Uh, they really wanted to contain.
Oh, you see it?
Looking at some pictures.
I sent you a video on Discord. But there's a documentary about them building it.
That's a big old thing.
Yeah, there's a I think it was 25 different countries helped fund it. I think it was
Wow.
a French engineer that designed it and everything.
Pretty much this building is a reverse Dyson sphere on a much smaller scale.
Yeah. And so the way they moved it is on tracks. They slid it over it. Like they moved it on hydraulic. It was these huge hydraulic jacks or air jacks that picked it up and moved it a little bit, and they set it down and readjusted them and moved it a little bit. It was fucking crazy.
That's some space engineer shit right there.
It really is, dude. Like it was fucking. Like I said, if you could find the whole thing on YouTube, it was well worth the watch. I found it very interesting.
I think it's, I think I'll have to pay for it. I need to anyway to Seth won't watch, but I'm gonna try and find it. Just watching the video real quick.
Yep. Yeah, they were saying that the Chernobyl's like the fastest way to get to Kyiv, which is the capital of the Ukraine. So
Yeah.
yeah, Kyiv, however you say it. This shit is ridiculous.
I come back and you're still living in that pit.
Yeah, pretty much. But, you know, if I had a good partner, he would be on right now.
He's busy, man.
Fuck that up.
Tell you what, you're superhuman to be carrying all that particle board around with you.
Shit. Hey man, somebody's got to do it. It's a fuck ton of metal. Look, I mean, it's just everywhere.
Man, that'd be a lot easier with a big drill truck.
Well, as soon as we can get an auger, oh, it's gonna be so much better. Oh, that was extremely stupid. What they should do is just let uh, Russia and the United States play a game of Red Alert 2, and you know, whoever wins is supreme.
Play it on the Dell 3000 so it'll be authentic.
Yeah.
With their 1024 by 768 screen limitation on the game.
I think a remastered version of that game would be fucking great.
I don't know. Maybe it was Origin or somebody, but I think not a remastered, but re-release. And I think maybe the only thing they changed was fixes so the screen resolution could be bigger.
Yeah. No, I'm talking with like updated, newer graphics, like, and that's it. Just upgrade the way it looks. Not the gameplay. Don't change anything else about it. Just make it a little more modern looking, and yeah. I can't tell you how many hours me and David have into that game.
Have you played the first Red Alert, the second, and the third?
Yeah, I own all of them. I've played them all. I have the first Red Alert on disc.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I started with that one too. I love that one.
Yeah. It's way before the men looked like men. They were more like almost dots scurrying around.
You know, they also have Open RA, which is basically the first Red Alert, but modernized. And it's free.
Did not know that. Let's see here.
Let's talk about Command and Conquer 4.
Ooh.
The one that doesn't exist. Were you unfortunate enough, like myself and so many others, to be excited for Command and Conquer 4?
Yeah.
And then to get Command and Conquer 4? And then immediately stop playing Command and Conquer 4?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know, man. Those good old LAN days, you know?
It's almost like there was no lag.
No lag, but port issues. I think that was the only problem we ever had with that game.
Command and Conquer 3 Tiberian War is also a good one.
Yeah. Well, that's the one we played the shit out of, right? with the screen.
Yeah, I think that's the one collectively we've all played the most.
Yeah, when Steven thought he had me beat, and I beat him one-on-one, and he was madder than all hell.
Nothing quite brings back a feeling of wonder and nostalgia than the AI voice of the non-faction.
Yeah. No, it's whenever you just see a giant shadow move over the map, and you just like, well, we might as well just go ahead and quit. It's all over with.
Almost always. Sometimes you can have just the right amount of a limited number of troops exactly where you need them to be.
See, the way I used to see it is, whoever got the most of the UA, is it the UAC or UAV, whatever it is, the little base building guy, whoever sent the most of those out and got those going first was gonna win. Cause like the more mini bases you can build, the better off you were.
Usually that was what's that's very much a Steven thing, is just expand as quickly as you can.
And never have your power all in one place.
I always take a moderated approach. Because sometimes it just doesn't work that much.
It doesn't.
I mean, sometimes it does. Sometimes it goes very well. Sometimes it goes very poorly. You just never know.
I don't know, especially if you have a good, like if you're playing on a team and you have a good teammate that y'all play the same, and
You coordinate.
yeah,
Yeah.
without saying anything, you know that this needs to happen, this needs to happen.
You get the roundabout feeling that each other is at a certain level of production at
Yeah.
a certain time without
Exactly.
looking.
Exactly.
That's what I like about Supreme Commander, is it had all of that as well, but you could. Well, I think it may have been me and you. Like, I was in a rough spot. I had one unit left. They wiped me out. And right before, I managed to make an escape, and I went hide in your base, and then I just started building up it again in your base.
Yeah, yeah, that was definitely me and you.
So to turn that loss, I don't know if we ended up winning that match or not. It was a pretty rough match at that point. But we weren't out of the game, and I pretty much built everything back up.
Yeah.
You can kind of do the same with Red Alert, but it's not, it's a little more limited because basically once you lose your construction yard,
Well,
yeah.
unless they don't take out your war factory, and then you can build another one pretty much, and then
Yeah, it's not, you can, it's just a little more difficult, a little more nuanced.
or depending on how good you really are, you have that one squad hidden off in the top corner next to their base with an engineer in it, and you just start taking all of their shit over, and yeah.
I'm going to say, I'm going to tell you two terms Tell me if they ring a bell. The first one is Rockets in the Sky.
Oh god.
The Rocket Troopers from Red Alert 2.
Yeah. Or
The jetpack guys.
what's the focusing lasers? The Red Alert 2, the airships, it was get off reporting. And when you heard them, when you just hear it like spam saying it, you might as well just quit the game. Like, it was over with. It didn't matter.
I mean that was never really put to good use, except only in certain circumstances where it was devastating if used properly. Was the Chrono Trooper.
Yeah, very true. Especially if you can get one that was upgraded. I don't know. I enjoyed Generals too, but it was so different.
I think I played Generals. Yeah, you're right. It was pretty good.
It didn't feel like
It
a
didn't have the
Command
same,
and Conquer game.
Yeah, it was more of a traditional real-time strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
That was kind of a campy nuance. You know,
Yeah, I know. Well, like on Red Alert 2, one of my favorite. Great Britain was like probably
I wonder why.
with the Grand Cannons, man. Like you couldn't fucking beat
As soon as you
it.
said that, I knew what it was.
Like
I knew what it was. I remember.
me
As soon
and
as you said it.
dude, me and David used to piss people off so bad because we would always play on modded servers, to where like they had the infinite money crate. You just park a unit on it and you get all the money you want. And at that point, it wasn't. It was just about who was better at building and who was faster. And first thing I would do is just fucking start building power plants across the map with cannons next to them, and that was the end of that.
I got another for you. Prism tanks and prism towers.
Yeah. Or the what is it, the hand of Nod, or the Nod, because the Nod had those little the obelisk is what it's called.
Yeah, I think the hand of Nod was a base, was the unit per meter.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh.
The Tower of Nod, maybe?
Finally.
Or maybe the Eye Nod.
We hit the world floor.
You're surrounded by iron.
Well, no, all this is just stone. See, this is the...
Oh, I got you.
No, the iron... I'm sure there's some... That's a different... No. It's kind of hard to see right now.
See, now you're making me want to go see if I have any of these games saved.
I know I have them. I bought them on Origin. I bought them all on Origin whenever... But, alas, I don't use Origin because it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Had all the potential and then nothing.
Well, likewise, you have the free alternatives where you don't have to do any fancy work to get it working. You got Open Origin, which is the first Red Alert game. And then you have Forged Alliance Forever, which is for Supreme Commander. And they work natively.
That don't sound good.
Right?
I feel like I'm being surrounded right now. I can hear them scurrying about above me.
It's the IRS. They're here to collect.
Oh, they gonna try and collect this year, them motherfuckers. I may end up having to fucking pay.
You know what's fascinating? The IRS is a privately owned business. It's not part of the government.
Easy, girl. Oh, we might have fucked up. Yep, we fucked up.
Bring out the python, take it out, Rick.
I like the AK better.
That's Rick's tertiary weapon, is the AK.
Finish off this stack of metal and I guess it'll be enough for now.
I see you boys still not here.
Yeah, I know. I don't guess he's getting on. If he ain't gonna get on, I'm not gonna stay on all night by myself. Cause if I the longer I stay on, the days will keep ticking. As long as nobody plays on the server, the days don't move. Like it only progresses if somebody's on the server.
I got you.
Cause it'd be kind of shit, you know. You get off for like, say, one night, and then you come back and it's like day 100. Yeah, I gotta try and get, I think, if I can get miner 69 or fully upgraded, this will go a lot faster. Which now it's taking about 4 hits compared to 8, so.
No God mode toggle?
Huh?
No toggling God mode?
No, I had the cheats turned off. Because if you have the cheats on, then creative mode is on automatic, so I don't know, it just takes the fun out of it for me.
Good idea.
Although I do want to start testing some base designs. So I might make like a private world and...
I hear the spiral maze is a good one.
Huh. Man, I really wish somebody would like pick that game up and put it back to what it was before the last like years worth of updates they did.
Well, they really didn't do much updating at all last year. I think it was only just them releasing skins.
Well, that and that like stupid map, that new map, I didn't care for it. Like the original map was way better.
I vaguely remember it.
And then you gotta remember you had to end up going. You had to get money to go buy a base pad or whatever. You couldn't build wherever you wanted. You can only build in certain places. Like the old one, you could literally build wherever you wanted. It was more like DayZ. Or like Rust.
Yeah, I think I do remember that.
I don't know if that was a deal because maybe their servers weren't that good, and like their servers couldn't handle all the strain of having all the structures on them. But
I think it was something along that line because keeping track of all of that information and then having to keep track of all of it deteriorating.
yeah,
eh, That's gonna slow you down. And then when you have those servers where there's 2,000 little Chinese playing 12 hours a day,
yeah, no shit.
and they come and totally wipe everything that you have and everybody else off the server, and they build 3,000 little houses all over the map. Yeah, your server's probably gonna crash. But what I never understood in H1Z1 is one of the issues that a lot of people had was people cheating, using trainers and flying and
Yeah,
all kind of other stuff. But in a game like H1Z1, what's the point of robbing people if you're cheating? Because you already have everything.
yeah.
Like you don't need anything. You just spawn in whatever you want. Why are you breaking into people's bases and stealing all their stuff?
Well, remember that last time we played when we had built that base. It was really close to another base, and we like literally broke in, didn't blow in. We like chopped down their door and shit, and stole everything they had. Then like there was like 10 Chinese guys that rolled up on us.
Sounds familiar. It's not to say that I have anything against Chinese. It's just I'm playing to the stereotype of, there's a lot more of them than there are us, and they spend a lot more time than we do.
And they cheat a lot more than we do. That's a fact, dude. Go like Russians and the Chinese like hack so much more than us.
Isn't that kind of part of the culture?
Damn.
But that's how they get through all those games so quickly, man. They ain't got time to do it the hard way.
I don't know. I like the grind. I like having to work for it.
It's it's a good and a bad thing because I enjoy games like this, but my issue is that server goes down, it never exists, and it always happens. Or you move to a new server, never existed, and that was my one problem, really big problem with something like Ark as well, is because we play for a good while on a server, and then for some reason Steven would want to make a new server and restart.
Yeah.
But he would always do that after he would spend 2 weeks using the console command to buy and build everything that he ever wanted, so he had nothing left to do. And he wanted to restart.
And what's
And
fucked up is that he was the only one using it, and everybody else was having the fucking grind through it.
yeah, I mean it's good to have and it's good for some things, but not to use like you're the U.S. government. uh, but his issue was he wanted to restart and he wanted to restart everybody at level 1. Man, no. I just spent 4 weeks getting to this character level. I don't want to.
Yeah.
If you want to do a new server, that's fine. We can do what I did, and you have all the servers running, and you can hop between them with all of your stuff.
Yeah, the cluster is so nice.
Yeah, and that's why originally I had set that up was so that we can play wherever we wanted with the same characters and bring our stuff, most of our stuff with us. And I think it worked pretty well.
Yeah, I think the base I built in the desert was probably my favorite one.
I love the desert map. I really do. I think it's one. I know a lot of people don't like it. It's one of my favorites, though. It might be my favorite. I just love the aesthetic of it, and it's the only map where you can fly upward, or you can go to a high point on the map, and you can get a view of the whole map.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Did you get the chance to play on Ragnarok or any of those?
I played once or twice only on Ragnarok about 3 years ago, just on and off. And I do. This is a very pretty map. I like that map a lot. I explored a little bit of the map. I played on one of the official servers.
Oh God.
And I did. Yeah, I did. Oh no, actually, I did pretty well for one. It's just that I was playing by myself, so I couldn't do everything. And
Yeah.
like everything else, what ended up causing the breakdowns was you would play for several days or a week or two, and you would I would just build myself a decent little house made of metal. Not much.
And they would wipe the server.
No, you would have a band of 50 little Chinese or Russians, like you said, come by, who didn't speak English, but were somehow on the U.S. server, and they would come in with their 120 level, but their 120 level 120 T-Rexes, and they would wipe everything in their path just for the sake of doing it. They would kill you solely for the fact of killing you, even though they knew you had nothing.
Yeah, that's shitty. That's like it's a big problem that they have on Rust a lot is like people killing fresh spawns. Like you just spawn in and you die. Like what's the point? The dude's naked. Why shoot him? Why kill him? Like now if he comes at you with a fucking gun or a knife or something, yeah, sure. But me and David had played Ark on a PvP server one time.
Hey yo, well that's all I played on when I played official was PvP. That's why I could do that.
Yeah, and dude, it was fucking. It was intense, man. Like we had gotten into some big fights. We had raided this dude's base. Took everything he had. I remember he had a fridge full of dino eggs, like really good T-Rex eggs. He was mad as hell, dude.
And you know, thinking back to it, I was never killed by a native English speaking person. Every person that I came across who spoke English as their primary language, we helped each other out. Every time. Goes to show you, huh?
Yeah.
Now I will say, for a little while, a brief time, I was playing on some Space Engineer servers. And that's always fun. that's always fun.
See, the only Space Engineers I've ever played was on our own servers.
Oh, I think I tried one or two of the officials, and then I found some other well-to-do, high uptime servers to play on. As people. And that's, excuse me, that's usually pretty fun. I enjoyed just flying around and seeing if I could find or driving around in some instances.
Yeah, you see, I would have to find a way to carry my truck in my ship. Like they have those,
No.
didn't they have like the mag, to like hold stuff down? It was like some kind of
Yeah.
magnetic deal.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. Not to pull you away from your 7 days to die, but if you're gonna get off the game anyway and it's a Friday night, um, and I can't switch operating systems right now anyway because things. Uh, if you can play Space Engineers, I can show you what I built about 2 or 3 years ago.
I can, I don't have it installed. I can put it installed tonight. And,
I don't remember how big it is. It was small, but it wasn't that big.
hang on, let me see.
My point being, we can do a local server, either you host it or I host it, and I can go through the blueprints that I still have, and I think you need to see the truck that I built. It's old now, but it's pretty cool.
Space Engineers.
I even went so far as oh, I lost that blueprint too. I had I was on one of those official servers I were playing on. I made it to space and I found myself a little asteroid and I built myself a little asteroid base
Mm-hmm.
and I saved the whole base. And my goodness, that base was the prettiest thing that I've ever built. I'm not an artist. It probably looks like crap to other people, but I was very proud of it. And it was so cool, and I think I lost the blueprint to it.
Ooh. Yeah,
But
my
one of the things I had built on that base was a small ship frame. So I had a little drone design that I would project out onto the printer, and it had 3 or 4 welders that would move back and forth while the projection was rotating on a rotor and a piston being pulled through it. And when it was done, the thing was finished, and you could cut it free from the projection. It was done, and you could just reset the rotor and piston, and then print out another one. And you can do this as long as you have materials, and it would print out in 15, 20 seconds, maybe.
fancy. Yeah, I'll have to download it tonight. I'll set it download and we can play it tomorrow. Or Sunday probably. Whichever.
I don't know. I think we have company Sunday night, probably not.
I know I haven't played it in years, dude. Like, so
Oh, I haven't either. This is just me remembering from years ago with me playing for about 10 minutes to see if it still works.
yeah, like the last time I played, they hadn't even released like the solar systems yet.
I thought you couldn't play with this because you said that you couldn't load the planets.
That one. It was whenever they upgraded to like the new planets. It was like the first major overhaul they did. My computer wouldn't render them in, and I would just like lag out, pretty much.
You know, you may have to do like I do and lower some of your settings if you're having problems.
No, well, on this computer I shouldn't have any problems. I'm talking about on my old computer.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it on this computer.
I think we should explore it because it'd be fun and give us some creative freedom. As much as oh boy, my head blanked out there.
And David will play too, because I know he likes the game. He was playing on some official servers not that long ago, I want to say.
You know, you would think that playing on something like an official server or something would be bad, but I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed, number one, you you don't get 3,000 pounds worth of crap because you have the settings turned up to 100.
Yeah.
So there's the survival aspect of it, and there's no safety net. So, you know, there's that. But when you finally build up enough to go out and look around, ooh, I'm sneezing. Ooh, sorry. When you finally build up enough to start flying around and you really start to get your wings for exploring, it's just fascinating to fly around and see if you can find other people and see what other people have built. And maybe somebody's old ship or base is, still rotting somewhere, or has crashed into the ground, and you just see the wreckage of it that you can salvage.
Yeah. It just makes you appreciate the game more.
You know, they have the whole trade system and faction system now too, right? And the questing system.
No, I didn't know that. Like I said, dude, it's been a long
Oh
time.
yeah, they like um, there's a whole bunch of different factions, including NPC factions, and you have reputation with them that you can gain in reputation or lower reputation if you start attacking them or stealing from them and stuff.
Huh.
And then they have trading outposts and quest markers where they like you on the planet and in systems, but you can find like a different types of NPC stations.
Uh-huh.
Like one might be a space station, one might be a trading station, and they're basically little safe zones that you can go in to sell things, or you can pick up missions, like you can do a bounty hunter mission, or you can do a delivery mission. Um, like to drop off supplies to another station somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, and you can buy supplies from them as well. So, like some stations, you can buy entire ships, and they'll just print them out and give them to you. They're yours.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's something now, or it was something then. It's even been a few years since then, so I can imagine now. Uh, but it was really fun because I remember I had played on the official one for a little while, and I think it was the one where I had my little asteroid base, and I commandeered an NPC ship or two, and retrofitted one of the ships to be like my main ship, and boy, that was a cool ship. You know how they only had like 3 or 4 NPC ships when they first came
Battery
out?
low.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Hang on.
Every faction has different ships, and there's multiple
Charging battery.
different ships per faction.
Yep.
And, a lot of the ships, like you said, are added from contests that they held that people made, and those who won had their ships added as NPC vessels.
See, to me, man, that's more like, I don't know. I enjoy stuff like that. Like, give back. That's a way to give back to your community, like your fan base. You know.
It is. And I really remember this one particular ship because it's the one that I spent the most time on. I can't remember what it's called, but if I saw it again, I would be able to tell you immediately it was that one. And it was an NPC ship that somebody had made who had won one of their contests or they really liked, so they added it to the game. It's an NPC ship. You can come across it, you can find it, you can capture it and have it for yourself. And it's a really nice little design. I say little, it's a big ass ship. It's a really big ship. But the point is, like you said, it's good that they did that because now there's a lot of variety. There's you have the question of, well, who made this ship and why is it here? You know, look what this person made. It's not auto-generated. Somebody made this and they put it in here.
Hmm.
They also have jump drives now. They've had them for a while.
Yeah, I played whenever they had jump drives. Cause remember, you and you and Steven built that big ass ship, and we like cruised across the thing forever.
Oh, you mean the shoddy looking horrible Star Trek ship?
Yeah,
Yeah, that big monster.
and like it was still really glitchy for you to like use it because it would if you would get out of the seat, it would just like launch you out of the fucking thing into space.
Yeah, I do kind of remember that.
Yeah, yeah, I do too. I do too.
Actually, I might still have an old blueprint of the first version of that shit. For some reason, I don't know if it was me or something I did, or maybe it was just Steam. But a lot of the few blueprints that I have left are all old, like first edition blueprints. They're not the later blueprints that I saved as we worked on stuff.
Yeah,
So these are all OG designs. So for instance, that ship you just mentioned, that big old monster there, like the version I think that's still blueprinted is the first version that was finished. So the nacelles weren't done, they weren't closing in all the way. The whole cockpit saucer section originally, well, the idea was to have it act like the Enterprise, where you can separate the two halves of the ship and then join them back together.
yeah.
Well, this is the version right before that change was added. So this is just one ship, whereas I know that we cut this thing in half and redid all the piping and the armor blocks and made it where you could do that, because I remember doing that. But I don't know where all those other blueprints went. Even the truck that I mentioned, that I hope you see, that truck is the first version of that truck that was made. I know it's the first version of that truck because what I did to it afterward was I removed some of the empty space in the back. I took away one of the landing bays that was in the back. I made it shorter so that I could move and turn more easily and it would weigh less. And it would have a more center thing for gravity.
Yeah.
And then I redid all of the wheels because I kept getting the wheels destroyed on trees and crap. So I changed the whole wheelbase so that it was lower as well. And I also had to redo the back door a little bit because I didn't need as big of a door if it wasn't as high off the ground. That version's not there anymore. But you were asking how to attach small ships to big ships and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a few different ways that you could do it. The way I did it with that truck that I'm mentioning, other things too, but like with that truck, I have a three rotor articulating drop down door that folds itself out and arcs down to the back of that rover,
Uh huh.
and it makes a ramp that you can drive and walk up. And when you drive in, you can drive a small vehicle or fly if you want. But I have a smaller truck, a small ship truck that fits perfectly in the back of that truck, and I lock it onto a connector into the back of that truck, and I can close all the airtight doors and bring the ramp door back up, and it stays.
Interesting.
Which means that at any time I can stop the truck, lower the ramp door, open the airtight doors, disconnect it from the connector, and drive it out of the big truck.
See, that takes a lot of like
Which
time.
I did.
Takes a
I
lot of
actually
time to
did.
think about it.
You know, I accidentally found out that I could weaponize that door.
Oh Lord.
See, for some reason, I don't remember exactly how it kept happening, but however it happened, every time I was trying to set a certain setting on the rotors for the door, the rotors would start jiggling, and then I guess it would cause space engineers to do what space engineers is known for and start clanging and banging and everything else and making all kind of horrendous racket right before something explodes or goes horribly wrong.
Yeah.
So whenever you would set it and you watch the rotors start wiggling, and it's almost like they were separating themselves from their body, and the the farther part, the outside part of this solid door, the what are those heavy blocks? Not heavy blocks. The blast door is all made of blast doors. So the biggest part of this blast door ramp would launch itself and detach from the rotor that it was on, and it would fling itself at maximum speed in whatever direction was directly opposite of the truck.
Good Lord.
And, and I discovered this in a hilarious way because I had my little base and I had the truck and I was trying to get the stupid ramp to work. And then this happened, and I had a row of wind turbines on some pillars
Yeah.
from my base tower that were kind of elevated away from the main body of the base.
And you fucked some shit up.
And it cut through this whole row of wind turbines like cheese on the grater. And it kept going.
See, yeah, I would have just had to get off. That would have pissed me off. Like, I would have had to get off for a minute, go get me a coffee, like, give me something to snack on, and come back.
Oh no, it was too hilarious to get mad at. I mean, it shredded these wind turbine towers. Completely obliterated them. It was like you took a knife through water and it glided right through all of them. And it never slowed down either. It was like a frisbee of death. It just kept going for another 200 meters until it hit a cliff face and it left a 30-meter deep hole.
Good Lord.
So, you know, you can figure out how to weaponize that door and consecutively make that happen, you have a weapon of destruction. But all of that being accidental, you should see all the weapons and crap they added. It's not just miniguns anymore.
So people...
No, they have rail guns, they have Gauss cannons, they have auto cannons, they have
Really?
artillery cannons.
So people do a lot of, like, PvP and stuff?
You can if you want. Yeah, it's a lot more. You can really customize now compared to before. You know, you pretty much only had two options before. You could use the Gatling gun or the missile launcher.
Yeah.
Well, they still have the Gatling guns and they still have the missile launchers, but now they also have a rail gun, an autocannon, like a bigger autocannon. I forgot the name of it. They have something called the artillery cannon. They have, it's several different types of weapons, and some of them are stationary. Some of them are meant to be put on a rotor,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
control it from there. So I actually hadn't explored all of it. This is just me trying to remember my 10 or 15 minutes, you know, like from yesterday, trying to see what was there and what wasn't. But, okay, here's a good example of something that's old. I like drones, remote drones. One of the things that was interesting for me was to have a ship or a little base right outside of orbit of the planet, right? And to build a little drone that you could drop onto the planet and then control remotely. You know, to see what's down there before you go down there.
Yeah.
So I set out to do that, and I made two different versions, and they both work pretty well. They're just little small ship rovers. It couldn't be. That was my stipulation. It had to be. Excuse me. It had to be wheeled. It couldn't fly because I wanted to drop it like a massive rover.
Yeah.
And I did. I built them. From orbit, attached them to the bottom of my ship, and then dropped them down into orbit. And as they were falling, I set the parachute to open at a certain distance. And when it got to that distance, the parachute opened. Of course, I'm looking through the camera of it the whole time, through the remote lock. So, I mean, you know, you can see what's going on as long as you have the cameras. And sure enough, you know, the moment of panic is when it starts getting close to the ground. And I guess that's the exciting part, right? Not all of them survived. We made some changes along the way. but after you find a design that works, yeah, I dropped it down into orbit and I started roaming around all over. And as long as you didn't go too far stupid, it worked just fine. I was 60,000 kilometers away outside the planet gravity, and I had my little drone driving around on the planet's surface.
Huh.
You know, that's kind of the stuff that I really enjoy. In fact, there was one instance where I ended up dropping a drone and I found somebody working on their little platform that they had just started building. So you can imagine how that went.
Yeah, not everybody's friendly.
Well, they didn't actually shoot it. It was, you know, there's trepidation at first because they're expecting somebody to get out of the drone.
Yeah.
Because they think it's a rover, but it's not, and it's just a drone. And then you get the, hey, that's really cool. And then you're like, hey, that's really cool how you did that. And then you're like, hey, why don't you get out and help me? And I'm like, I can't. I'm not on the planet. And they're like, oh my god, hand blown.
Huh.
That's the kind of stuff I like. Some of the stuff I like.
I guarantee you that motherfucker's sleeping right now.
Oh, David.
Yeah. I sent him a picture. I got like all the fucking metal.
Hold on, I just saw some wizardry occur when you were streaming.
What?
How did you hit a wooden crate and it turned into cardboard?
Huh. Oh, yeah. It's like a box inside of a box. See,
Why
look.
would you put a cardboard box inside of a wooden box? That's the same size as the wooden box. Look, he did it again. How did he do that?
Yep. There must be some delay.
Yeah, there's maybe a 2 or 3 second delay, I think. So what you're telling me is, I'm gonna have to look and see what other things I have, because I know I have stuff from GOG, like the non-DRM, you don't need Steam to play it,
Yeah.
type of stuff. I have to see what I have. I have Supreme Commander for that, though I also have it for Steam, so it doesn't really help me. I think I have Tiberian Wars, the third one. I have Riddler 3 on Steam. I have Riddler 2 on Origin. We don't necessarily need Riddler 1 because we can get OpenRA from that. I don't think I've ever played Red Alert 3 with anybody except him.
What? You said
Yeah,
you...
I don't think any of us have played Red Alert 3. I think the only person I've played it with might be Jaron.
How's he doing?
Not Tiberian Wars, but Red Alert 3. He's still where he's at. Still doing pretty good.
Jesus. Is he still with that old girl that he moved up there with?
No, that was a recent change. Uh, she ended up moving out. So there was a concept of half the grass was greener on the other side. And from what I have been told, after finding out that the grass is indeed the same shade of brown, she asked if she could go back, not but stay. To which he said, no. I'm happy for him on that.
Yep.
That's a big step for him.
Yeah. It's hard to say no to somebody like that.
But I'm glad that his answer was, well, she walked away with $90,000. If she can't do anything with that, I can't help her.
Holy shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, because apparently they bought a house, or rented something with the house. And when she was leaving, however they did the stuff for the house, he ended up buying out the rest of the house from her.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah.
They weren't married, were they?
No.
Because, I mean...
For a month.
Yeah, I mean, they were together for a good while, huh?
Yeah, it's been...
Years.
I don't know, 8 years or something, maybe? Yeah, that sounds about right. And, I mean, yeah, she was nice for the most part to me, but always got the feeling you always know that there's an undercurrent to every street war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was wondering if you were just gonna let that woman beat on you.
Well, I'm out of stamina. I'm out of food and water, so I really shouldn't be like running around right here. But I don't like to miss opportunities.
Yeah, Red Alert 3 is also very fun, but I don't think any of us have ever played it together. Maybe you played it by yourself. I know I've played it by myself. I know I played it with Jaron. But that's the one where you have the United States, Russia, the Soviets, and the Japanese.
Yeah, I've played it.
Okay, I was just making sure. And each of them play quite a bit differently from the other.
That's a pack of fucking zombie dogs.
I kind of like playing as the Japanese in that game. Just because their units have a bit more fluidity, I find. Like, you can do at least 2 different things with each unit. The only thing with that is that you have to manually tell them what to do.
Yeah.
So if you want them to target something on the land, you have to swap them in the mode to shoot something on the land. And if you want them to defend against something in the air, where you have to manually tell them to shoot whatever's in the air.
Well, it was
The only thing is that
it was a little more realistic.
Yeah, well, it was also to balance it because the U.S. and the Soviets didn't have that. They operated very differently. So I can understand from a balancing standpoint why that would be. I enjoyed that game. That was a nice game. You know what game? There's another game that we've never played. Jared and I played it, but we have never played. The collective of us is Company of Heroes.
Yeah, we did.
I've never played Company of Heroes with any of you.
I'm pretty. You sure you haven't played with David? Because I know he played it a lot. I was never
Yeah,
I was never any good at it.
I know we've discussed playing it, and I remember him saying that he's playing it and that he had it, but I've never played with any of you. It is one of those games where you like, you know, yeah, you can come across those people that have 30,000 hours in the game and they know every move that every unit is gonna make down to the microsecond for the entire match. Because that can be said about any game, but it's a fun game too. And they have the Eastern Front mod, which adds Russia and adds extra options for the others. It also adds new units for the U.S. and for Germany. Just running through the Steam library. But yeah, that's another pretty good game. But we never did play it.
I don't know if I have that one. Let me see.
We tend, kind of like Supreme Commander, we tend to stay away from Company Heroes 2, and we stick with the first one.
I don't have it.
Well, that might be the why then.
I know David does. I know he's played it.
Oh yeah, it's a really good game.
And which one? Just the first one?
Yes. That, I think, I don't know how they do it. I mean, we've had it so long, but they have one or two expansions to it.
I
And you
mean,
don't actually need to play, it's just you don't get to play as those factions.
yeah. I mean, it's $37 for the complete Company of Heroes one. So
Really?
yeah.
Hold up.
Thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it.
I'm gonna take a look at that.
Yeah, the
I suggest going to something like G2A and taking a look at that
yeah.
if you're interested.
I mean, I have an affiliate code with G2A, so I get a little discount.
Well, excuse me.
You fucking right.
I suppose I was mistaken.
So
I'm waiting on Steam to come up. I want to see that. That's crazy.
yeah, for it's what is it? Company of Heroes, Legacy Edition, Company of Heroes, Opposing Fronts, and Tales of Valor for $37, $36.99.
Opposing Fronts and Tales of Valor. We review other things. I'll tell you. Here's some. And then, of course, Elden Ring just comes out. I doubt I can play that as well.
Man, I'm debating whether I want to get it or not because how?
It is a Dark Souls type title.
Yes, I know. That is why I am debating it. It's not really my my style.
It's something that you grow to appreciate if you spend the time. Like an arranged marriage, if it goes well.
Huh.
say this. Initially, years ago, I tried Dark Souls 3. Granted, I tried it on hardware even less than this. And boy, I was turned off.
Yeah,
But
it's
finally, everything was on sale, and I bought the first one and the third one again. And I played the first one, and that one sold me on it.
well, goddamn.
That's what made me get into it. And then after playing through the first one and beating it and playing around with it, I said, okay, I'll try the third one again. And then the third one is a little different. It's different, a little bit. But once you figure it out and get used to it and accept the fact that parrying just simply doesn't exist in that game, then it's a great game.
Fuck they been doing over here? Dude, they must have been beating on this shit for a while. It's all steel.
Beating you out the frame, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Fuck.
That's what?
What?
There's a thing here to be announced, Company of Heroes 3. Man, don't do this to me.
He's gonna make that man go spend all the little bit of money he got left to be able to play the game.
Oh yeah, the first sentence. Bigger and better than ever. Company of Heroes 3 combines foot-pounding combat with deeper strategic choices and a stunning Mediterranean theater of war.
But you only have to have a $10,000 computer for it to work.
Most likely, yeah. I'll tell you what, it sure does look pretty. That's the thing, though. Even the first Company of Heroes looks beautiful. Well, there's no date, so we're safe for a little while. Let's see, we have... Wow, sure enough. Yeah, what you're gonna want is the complete pack, if you were to get it. Because I think the Legacy Edition, whenever they released it from Steam, they integrated it with Steam so that you didn't have to have whatever the multiplayer account thing was.
Yeah.
That you have. So the Legacy Edition, I think, is still using that old system. Maybe, I might be wrong. $36.99 for that. Really? Oh, well, you get the Legacy Edition too. Wow. I didn't expect it to still be holding up that well. Price-wise. I mean, it's a good game. I think it's a good enough game to do that. But typically a game that old doesn't hold up that much. It says I have a thing from some guy named Lost Graffiti.
I don't
And
know.
yet when I click the button, it says I no longer have anything.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I am confused. This encryption is 68.6% done. So maybe I can download this. Thank you, by the way.
Yep. I mean, and you shouldn't have any problems playing it because it's a being that you're not hosting it, right?
Wouldn't think so. I'll have to adjust for the visual or something, but that should be about it.
Yeah, that's the only real major thing.
Let's do that. 5.9 gigs download. Let's see what else we got. Alien vs. Predator. This is the first game that I bought which required Steam, which is why I got it. Also a good game, but the multiplayer is questionable. First survival evolved. How much DLC am I missing?
All of it.
Let's see. Battlefield Bad Company 2. Boy, if Man Conquer Redder 3. Man Conquer Redder 3 Uprising. Heroes. Legacy Edition. And Heroes 2. Oh, that's right. They added the Eastern Front mod, which is basically like an overhaul. Overhaul. They added that to Steam, so you don't even have to go through the hot list again. Just install on Steam. Man. Yeah. Every time I look at that game, I'm a little sad. Crisis.
Crisis, yeah.
Well, Crisis and Crisis Warhead. But the original Crisis multiplayer.
Yeah.
Something to be the new word.
It really was, man. It was fun when we played all together. It was hard as fuck.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of half the point. Because, like, yeah, they had some small, tiny maps where it was just very Call of Duty. It's just you versus other people. There's very little space for you to run or to hide. You know, they had those kind of maps. But where I felt that it really shined was on those big maps. The ones with all the vehicles that you could get, all the terrain that you could traverse, all the places you could hide. It's very sad. I mean, I really enjoyed the original Crisis multiplayer because you could go from waiting in a room, standing still with your cloak on, and waiting to see for the guy to pass who you could hear coming from the outside. You could go from that to hopping into a VTOL, flying, 90 seconds across the map, which means it's a big darn map, while dodging fire, then jumping out of the VTOL, free-falling your way down, parachuting down, wherever you needed to be, and doing whatever you needed to do, whether that be stealing a vehicle, taking a point, going hand-to-hand combat with somebody.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
it used to frustrate the shit out of me.
I'm going to tell you one of the moments that sticks out in my mind, still. It was when we were playing, I think, and I think it was you who was shooting at me. We were on a jungle-ish, big jungle-type map area, and you were in a Hind helicopter. I say it's a Hind. It might not be a Hind in the game, but to me it's a Hind. You know, those big Russian-looking helicopters?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I think it was you, and I think you were flying over me, and that helicopter's main armament is missiles. And I'm pretty sure it was you. So you were trying to shoot at me, and I essentially had two options. I could dive off a cliff into a river, or I could take my chances darting through this thicket of jungle trees and hoping that you wouldn't hit me as I was trying to sprint my way through. I chose to go left and swap to the speed mode on the suit so I would run faster for a little bit. And I just remember speeding through this area of trees while rockets were blowing up behind and to the side of me from you trying to shoot me. And the tree branches and all that crap were being blown from the explosions too. And then finally you ran out of juice, and I managed to stop, and I cloaked and waited until you finally gave up. I remember that pretty clearly. I'm pretty sure it was you. Because there was literally nothing I could do in that very moment to stop you in that helicopter, except to attempt to flee. And then they really buggered it up with Crisis 2. They took all of that good stuff and they said, no, that's too much. Let's make it like Call of Duty instead.
Huh.
And that's when it tanked. And then on Crisis 3, they were like, you know what? The previous formula was working. So we're going to add a little bit of that Crisis 1 style back. But not really. We're going to make this one more like Halo. You know, like a mixture between Unreal and Halo.
Yeah.
Why
And
do you fuck with a formula that worked so well? Which raises another question. Command and Conquer Renegade. Yeah. Command and Conquer Renegade is kind of sort of similar to the Crisis multiplayer.
I
It was
don't
a first-person Command and Conquer game. I played the hell out of that thing.
I don't think I've played it. To be honest with you. I know David's played
Or
it, but
you could get into that one. It was a first-person Command and Conquer game, and their multiplayer it was more Command and Conquer style, obviously. But basically, it was the Crisis multiplayer where you had a base, the other team had a base, you had the buildings that you could go in and out of, like the Hand of Nod to summon troops and stuff. And it was just very similar to the Crisis multiplayer, in that you could, as you would fight, you could gain credits to swap characters, you know, like go from the normal grunt guy to like a shock trooper, or to the flamethrower guy or the sniper, you know, go through all the units from Command and Conquer. Or you could purchase vehicles, so you could drive a non-stealth tank. You could drive the mammoth tank.
maybe I did play it. I don't know. I know I have it.
Yeah, you could fly in the GDI Orca. Yeah, that was a fun game too. Actually, there is also a modernized version of that game, which is also free, like OpenRE. Hang on, let me see. called Renegade X. CNC Renegade. No, wait. Yeah. The updated free version that the community made is Renegade X. Basically, they took Command and Conquer Renegade and recreated the whole game and modernized it. See what else we got here. Halo, the Master Chief Collection. Oh look, Just Survive. You ever did Risk of Rain?
No, I don't have that one.
This is the second one. The 3D Risk of Rain 2. Pretty good game. It's better when you have somebody to play with. But it's a pretty fun game. Section 8 was a great game too, but that was killed way before its time. Another good real-time strategy game. Sins of the Solar Empire.
Yeah, that one was hard as fuck. I remember Steven played that one a lot.
It had been hiding while you played it.
Yeah.
The biggest thing with it is that people said it would take too long to play matches. So they adjusted a lot of stuff, and then they gave you the ability to adjust exactly how fast you want the game to play. And that pretty much solved that option. In fact, I think they have weekly or monthly tournaments where they still play this game. And they have a whole bunch of mods, like conversion mods and stuff.
Yeah.
You can totally redo the whole game so that everything's Star Trek.
Well, that would be cool.
Oh yeah, I forgot what the thing is called, but it's a total conversion mod, and it changes everything to Star Trek. There's also another one, I think, that does the Battlestar Galactica. Everything is Battlestar Galactica. There's another one, I think, that does the Stargate franchise. And they haven't made another game since because the game works. Still working as well over there again. And it still looks beautiful. And we got all the Stronghold series, which I never played with anybody, but it was a good game. And Street Member and Trine games. I like the Trine games.
I don't have those.
First two. The first two were side scrollers, kind of. The third one, they kind of went a little off the rails with it and tried this kind of mix and match of viewpoints. I don't even know if I actually ever played the third one. I haven't. I don't know if I played it. But I remember Jared and I played the first and the second one. Boy, those were fun.
I know Neil used to play it too.
Well, it's a beautiful game. They put a lot of effort into making it very visually appealing, and it's kind of a puzzle type
Yeah,
in a way.
yeah. There's a lot of like, kind of like God of War. You have to solve puzzles to open doors and do shit like that. Yeah, I remember Neil used to play it a lot.
I can see that. I never played with it yet. It's a well done game. I do well. You have Valheim. I enjoy Valheim.
I haven't really played it a whole bunch. I mean, I played it when it first came out. It's a very interesting game. It's just I think it would be better with friends.
Yeah, that's the thing. When it first came out, Jaron and I, well, Jaron had actually, he was the one who told me about it when it came out, and because it was cheap and it wasn't a big game, and we were hoping that I would be able to play it. He had bought it for me, and we ended up playing I think almost 2 days straight with no sleep.
Good lord.
That was really, hell yeah, that was full. I mean, we were having a blast. It was just him and I, and it was fun. It was hilarious. Uh, and his woman, her and some other one wanted to play, and then it tanked from there.
Yeah, it all went downhill from there.
Well, I hate to say it, but yeah, it went downhill from there. It was an immediate clothesline to the fun, and it tanked. And I hadn't really played since. I still have my character on it, though. I tested it, it still plays. It actually, like I said, it's a few frames per second better. But again, this is one of those games where they try to make this very unique art style, and they try to make it look very appealing in its art, and I enjoy that. And the gameplay too. I enjoyed it overall. I like it. The thing that I like too is that when you make a character, you can have that character and have it in its own local world for yourself, and then you can play with other people using that same character. So, for instance, like with one
So quick, I was getting hit from the back. Thank you for the follow. Okay. Welcome to the chat. You
I
lost?
can take my character that I already have to play with. I don't have to start at square one. Not that it actually makes that big of a difference, because this game, kind of like Dark Souls, it really doesn't matter what level you are all that much. Everything can kill you.
Yeah, that's and it's terrifying, man. Like it's fucking terrifying. That like it don't matter. Just the thought of like, okay, so you spend like 300 hours on this game, and then all of a sudden, oh, the game decides that you shouldn't be alive anymore.
People make a thing about the Dark Souls games being hard, and in a way, yeah, you can argue that's hard, but it's still more difficult than going to an arcade back in the day and trying to get the high score on a pinball machine.
Oh no, I
Or,
agree.
yeah, it's no more difficult. It's simply that you have to develop the mind and skill to do exactly the same thing that you do in every other game. Because it's just like a fighting game, or just like Company of Heroes or Call of Duty. Like first-person shooters.
Yeah.
You you pick up on the things which can make you successful, and until you learn those things, this game chooses to kill you. Basically, it is no different than like when I first started playing computer games, started playing the all on land, Call of Duty. I got my ass handed left, right, up, down, back, front, and every other direction in between. I mean, I couldn't kill anybody. I was pitiful, but then I picked up on things that were successful and things that were not. Then the matches started becoming more even.
Yeah, and then they introduced C4, and you know that was the whole thing.
And then someone, yeah, then somebody said, "Oh, because you can't kill me with that." But I can. Challenge accepted.
And I succeeded. You're welcome, sir.
Doesn't matter how fast they are. They're not faster than the bombs.
Yeah, no shit.
That's the weapon you take out in bad company or when everything's going real bad.
Real bad. Real bad. That's when you know you were done. Like, no,
Yeah, that's how you could tell I had enough.
like no more of this shit. We're not fucking doing it. Fuck you. Fuck everybody. You're all dying today.
It's when you come to some of them people who literally seem superhuman. And no matter what you do, and you kind of get where Neil's frustration comes from sometimes. And that it's like every goddamn corner you turn, they're already shooting at you.
Yeah, there's some motherfucker that's gonna shoot at you. But
Yeah. And it's like, it almost seems like every corner you turn, they're already there and they already know you're coming. They're already shooting before you even finish turning the corner.
well,
Every time you seem like you have an equal draw, it's like that son of a bitch always gets a headshot.
well, that's because
That's what the bomb.
you have to think ahead. Like, so, like if I approach a corner, I'm not just looking like ahead of me. You don't wanna take the corner like straight on. You wanna angle around the corner. So if there is somebody there, you get that corner flank, and I mean you can pretty much just get the drop on them every time. So,
Slice the pie. Slice the pie.
or you do a fucking, you come in, you slide, and you just fucking blap from the ground, and yeah, chat it up, you know.
Or you go real fun and you get that something like the 80-12 with explosive rounds.
God,
And then you run around going, pulling a David. Boom, 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 boom.
that shit pisses me off.
I really enjoyed something from Bad Company 2, which was the underbarrel attachments,
Yeah,
because I find they worked better in that game. For instance, typically they had a shorter range, but one of my favorite things I had finally kind of learned how to do was to use the underbarrel fletchet launcher, or flechettes, as
Yeah.
some may say. And the thing about them is they're really short range. Like they basically have a 3-foot range in the game. But if you hit them within that range, they're dead. It doesn't matter what they're wearing, it doesn't matter how much armor they have, it doesn't matter how much health they have, it doesn't matter, they're dead. It didn't matter if it was hardcore mode or regular mode, they're dead. And it finally got to the point where I got a little comfortable with that, and I really enjoyed using that because it's such an underwhelming weapon to get killed by. Because it doesn't make a big bang, it's not impressive, there's no big flash, there's nothing. It's just you're walking up, you hear boom, and you're dead. There's no boom, there's no bang, there's no nothing.
now I'll tell you what game you would probably enjoy a lot. Have you looked at Escape from Tarkov?
No, I've seen somebody play.
So there's a guy I follow on YouTube. His name is Karma Cut, and he does a good job at. He's really good at it. It's more of a like a almost a meal simulation game.
As
Let's see. Hang on.
like milling wood,
No. You know what I'm talking about.
military simulation.
Wait.
So I'm gonna end the stream thing here real quick. Let me see if I can start this game.